the place to be.
I like to introduce myself. My name is
And it goes a little something like this.
Going way back to the early days.
Way back in the days when hip-hop began.
For all the pioneers, I'm going way back.
Hear the story again and again of how it all got started way back when.
Listen to this, just listen to this, just listen to this, just listen to this.
Hello. Sabine the Bee. And you are listening to the Pioneers Show.
This is Sire from the gutter style. Real beats plus real rhyme equals the Pioneers Hip Hop Show with my man Whirlwind D on Kane FM.
Whirlwind D on KFM.
Yo, this is Phil Most Chill, still out to kill. And you are listening to the Pioneers Hip Hop Show, presented by Whirlwind D on Kane FM. Get busy, get lost.
Now we are ready if you are ready.
Welcome to this month's Pioneers Hip Hop Show on Kane 103.7 FM. Big shout to everybody listening live on the FM dial or via the Kane FM website at www.kanefm.com, and of course my YouTube crew cashing the show, complete with the pictures of all the records that we play over on the Whirlwind D YouTube channel. Also got to give a massive big up to my man Disorder for the last 2 hours of Dub Chronicles goodness on Kane FM, pure fire and always essential dub flavour. Now, for those of you who are new to the show, each month we focus on an aspect of hip-hop history, sharing the stories and tales, as well as playing the essential records of the time. Now, last month we focused on legendary UK hip-hop imprint Y&R Recordings, playing classics from the likes of Jest, Michael Parkinson, The Sun Dragon, and many more. Now, in previous shows, we've covered everything from legendary pioneers such as No Sleep Nigel and Paul C, to iconic collectives like the Juice Crew, the 45 Kings Flavour Unit, and UK legends the HQ Squad, as well as hip-hop labels, for example, Music of Life, Liberty Grooves, and more. Now, on tonight's show, we very much reflect the fact that hip-hop is approaching its 50-year anniversary. And with that in mind, we are launching a new mini-series focusing on specific years. And I've got to big up my man Specific for the inspiration for this. Now, before I delve into the mechanics of how this tonight's show will work, I must add that, of course, the very idea that hip-hop music is approaching its 50th is problematic for a whole range of issues, which I'm not going to go into here, but instead use this as an excuse for a general celebration of hip-hop and, of course, a chance to dig into those specific years. Now, as always, the show will predominantly focus on the music, which of course is only part of this great hip-hop culture that we love so much. So the idea of this mini-series is to take a year in hip-hop and go on a journey from January to December, tracing some of the records that defined those months, and at the same time tell some of the stories, some of the things, the key events that happened in that year, both stateside and in the UK. And in order to give the playlist that we're going to put together some credibility, we base our choices on chart selections from the iconic Groove Hip Hop Sales Chart, which at the time was the leading chart for hip hop in the UK. And when I say hip hop in the UK, of course, I mean hip hop from all different countries, obviously mainly the US as well as UK based. But it was a chart that we spent a lot of time looking at and listening to. Now, whilst the entries will be very similar to those in an equivalent US chart of that time, our stateside listeners will notice that some releases may figure a little later in the chart than they would have in the US, particularly those releases that appeared as an import only in the UK or that eventually got a UK release. So you may find a record that was charting in January in the States might be charting in February in the UK. As well as this, given that the US has quite a broad-based range of hip-hop, from New York-based artists to Miami-based, and all its other facets, the stories that we will tell as a result of this will be quite broad. And of course, given that I'm based in the UK, they'll be told from a slightly London-centric perspective. Finally, before we jump into January, it's worth noting that we're going to play 2 tracks from charts in each month. We'll let you know the chart position and so on and so forth, and only ever play 1 track from a particular artist, which will give us 24 tracks in total, which of course means we can't include everyone and everything. We will do our best to cover some of those key themes and key artists. And like I say, as usual, we're going to share some history, some facts, and some tales along the way. So let's get straight into the music. Let's open the show. We find ourselves in January 1986 with the number 29 track on the 11th of January. And that track was called Knights of the Turntables.
1, 2, 3,
just to gather around, drink a wine, smoke a weed, bust the new sounds. They dance, they sing, they move their feet up and down to the Knights of the Turntable beat. There were special events that took place every day. A mile away from the arena, you could hear the people say, "We are the Knights of the Turntables. Let me in there, check out this fable. We are the Knights of the Turntables, scratching and spinning. We're ready and able to rock, rock, rock." Camelot. Gladiators past BC. Ask anybody, Camelot was the place to be. Camelot was the city where everyone goes. Many men lost their lives to treacherous foes. They had a battle for a damsel in distress. Because of egos, every man longed to be the best. They killed for her in every way. And late at night in the midst, I could hear the people say, "We are the Knights of the Turntables. Listen in, check out this fable. We are the Knights of the Turntables, scratching and spinning. We're ready and able to rock, 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 rock. Crossfader had the baddest mixes in Camelot. His right-hand man, leader of his band. His name was Sir Scratch-a-Lot. Scratch it, scratch it, scratch it. King Arthur heard about the girl in trouble. He moonwalked to the arena on the double. He boogie with earphones on his head, and that's when the whole boy said, "Don't you know, we are the Knights of the Turntables. Let me in there, check out this fable. We are the Knights of the Turntables, scratching and spinning. We're ready and able to rock, rock, rock." The villain of Camelot was the Black Knight, not itching but scratching for a good fight. Black Knight threw a scratch, other threw a scratch. The Black night knew he met his match. Now with the flick of the wrist, you see the battle began. You could hear them scratching throughout the land.
Feel good.
Get up and go to the other side of the table. Come on.
One 3.7 Kane FM.
Right.
Kane 103.7 FM.
Where's Rock? Yo, G, what's up? Man, you heard about a new beatbox from around the block? Yo, here he comes now, walking down the street. Oh man, check that out. He's got a funky fresh beat. Word him up. Oh yeah, and it funky now. And it funky now. Fresh, real fresh. Yo man, what's his name? The double beat. The double beat? I'm down with that. Yo party people said a few years back came this heavy track, and it was so damn fresh it could never be whack. It had an ultimate beat that will make you move. Funky did it was it created. The nation was the groove. Then it was known by one. Well, it was known by all. Yeah, the rock and shock a crowd with a big old small. Then it was known to revive, keep my party alive. And that's one of a dance track that's ever survived. Then it brought us together, all colors and creeds, and side by side, where we was taught to read. One nation, it's under a groove. Then it was great to prove. They under attack. And guess what? The show is on with a fucking rack. So now don't hesitate, just bust those moves and check out how we rock one nation under a groove.
One nation under a groove. Getting down just for the funk of it. One nation and we're on the move. Nothing can stop us now.
I said a knick-knack, paddywhack. Here comes the fresh rap. Posters go home while we rock the microphone. Getting busy on the set, cause we ain't through yet. Now we're gonna intercept like a supersonic jet. New ways to verse, we got new ways to rhyme. To make it sweeter than wine, as we start to combine. Send the beats into lock, and you shall rock. Let's melt down the rhyme like the sonic goes block. Stand back and behold, fresh words untold. We're bigger than bad, we're better than bold. Yes, the rhymes for sale, but the cash must be cold. And if you're off in a million, sold man sold.
One nation under a groove. Getting down just for the funk of it. One nation and we're on the move. Nothing can stop us now.
Out of work and out in the cold. Left the council flat and you took your stroll. Cause the bills you have seem to be untold. Life is so damn hard when you live on a dole. Every 2 weeks you go pick up your check. When ain't how in the hell you gonna make it stretch? You have a wife and child to support. You got behind on your payments so she took you to court. Now you poured all that gold that you had to sport. Cause the biddy's trying to get extra child support. You can't take no more, you feel like running away. Go down to the docks, become a stowaway. With a plan you had and what you had thought didn't turn out right, so you're back in court. Where your excuse is lame, if you know what I mean. Just give you social work and he makes you scream. Now your job time, all the time, cannot even feel fine. When you make a little money, head you for the front line. Homeboys in the place to be. West Rock rocking on the MIC.
Well, you MCs love to brag and boast about all the girls who want you from coast to coast. Keep on rapping about the women you've had, the ones that you can pull, try and make them mad. We know you too well, the real you, all about what you can and what you can't do. The men say women talk too much, well we're keeping that alive with the feminine touch. Our aim is true, we never miss a fly, girls. You can all boss this, and I'm gonna say it loud and clear, so all of you guys out there can hear. You want to be free, you're not to blame, but don't you think a woman ever felt the same? Don't you agree? MC Junior G gives a little rap about reality.
Man sitting in myself, which looks like hell. I can't take the fashion, no I can't take the smell. 4 big walls and the big iron doors that I'm stuck in this hole for 20 hours or more. You hear the kids playing, the cats passing by. You see the ever look cause the wind is too high. It's cold in the daytime, it's lonely at night. You can't see the ever be cause there ain't no light. Time stands still while I'm colder than my age. This place is like a zoo, I'm a human in the cage. Rocking on the wall, no table, no stool. Once a month I get a visit, sometimes not at all. My friend next door in cell 54, he was in parade, he's not here no more. Hung by the neck from the sheets on his bed. Before he even got it, he was already dead. He was living on a line that was running out of twine. And the other way and climb a knife took his behind. Tell you locked up in a cell with the safest space in L. In it right to agree, it's survival many male. Don't you agree, what we say is reality? Don't you agree, what we say is reality? Don't you agree, it's reality?
Kane FM.
We're bona fide to express our methods to the catch. The picture at hand and what we do best. You see the mark is a jar, the rap is our art. So ride from your slumber, we came in to rock. Right about this time,
We'll make you shake your shiver. The devastating round we can't deliver. And your sucker MC, to us you're reminded. We dominate the chart because we are the world finest. King who sat and heard drunken fashion. You're convicted in jail. Now here's your lesson, Stetsasonic. A name you will never forget. But if you can't say it all,
just say Stet.
Never will
action strictly scientific. Before we leave, your ladies will be pleased that we shock the house and pull our empty neck weeds. But Stetsa means style and Sonic means sound, and this is the name that's gonna be around. So let the name reflect and get it correct.
But if you can't say it all, just say Stet.
On a mix is a kid named Prince, the will-be king by the cut he invents.
And slicker than slick, fresher than fresh. Mix machine-wise is showed up flesh. And we're the MCs that hail from the east with the Stet. Rhyme, skirt piece overseas to the floor. Get your butts off the wall and rock with wise and the one Prince Paul.
Yeah, what's going on, party people? It's your boy Mikey D of the LA Posse and Main Source, and now I represent elements of hip-hop. So right now you're tuned in to the Pioneers Hip-Hop Show with my man DJ Whirlwind D right here on Kane 103.7 FM. Come on, y'all, keep it locked, man. This is where real hip-hop lives.
Welcome back to the Pioneers Hip Hop Show on Kane 103.7 FM. If you've just joined us tonight, it's all about 1986. And what we are doing is tracing a journey, plotting our points month by month, and using the Groove Hip Hop Sales Chart as our guide. Don't forget, at the end of the show, we have some brand new music from the likes of my fellow South Coast MC Cosm, Capo, Jest, and my homies D-Flux and Miracle, and much, much more. So let's get stuck into the January 1986 flavour. So we find ourselves in early 1986, and you may have noticed that the first couple of cuts, in fact all four of those cuts that we played, were actually released in 1985, but were still solidly in the chart in the first couple of months of 1986, and in fact one of them was a number one. Now, first up, we heard the dynamic duo and Shaquan's killer jam, Knights of the Turntables, followed by the number 22 sound on the 18th of January, which was DJ Born Supreme Allah's 2-3 Break on Vintertainment Records. Both cuts, of course, appeared on the Street Sounds Electro series. I believe it was number 10 that they were on, and the latter was in fact an alias for DJ Chuck Chillout, who very soon after would begin recording his iconic Chuck Chillout Juice Report on the Mike Allen Hip Hop Show on Capital Radio. And I think the date that started was the 15th of February 1986, so very soon after that chart position that we just talked about. Now, speaking of Mike Allen, we then moved into the first of our UK hip-hop tracks, one that was huge in London at the tail end of 1985 and in early 86, and that was, of course, the death mix of Masquerade's One Nation, featuring the legendary Junior G amongst others, and that was number 13 on the 1st of February. Now, the mixing and scratches on that track were done by Mike Allen, and the record came out on Morgan Khan's Streetwise label. In fact, Chuck Chillout, who we mentioned a moment ago, would also report on the New York hip-hop scene via his hip-hop report in Morgan Khan's short-lived Street Scene magazine, which sadly is sometimes credited as being the ultimate catalyst for Street Sound's later demise. Whatever the story, Morgan Khan's Street Sound label will always have a special place for any UK hip-hop fan, and can certainly be credited as one of those key drivers of the music side of the culture in the UK. And we're going to talk more about Morgan Khan and Street Sounds later on in the show. Now, speaking of Street Sounds, we then moved into the number one record on the 15th of February in the Groove Hip Hop Sales Chart, which was Stetsasonics' incredible debut, Just Say Stet.
Street music
Had to pause for the cause. If we're talking about Mike Allen, it's in the head. That was the pause for the cause moment. Now, Just Say Step was another essential jam that would appear on Street Sounds Electro 11, and it originally came out on the Tommy Boy imprint. Okay, we're going to move forward and we're going to move into March 1986.
We came here tonight to get started, to co-act ill or get retarded. I'm Shante and the rhymes are dead. Just rap so fresh till I get out of breath. Now this is something that we do have to do, and this is a team that I must introduce. I'm Shante, he's Bizmarkie. We rap so fresh that they think it's three. Three of us who rap together, strong as a bond that is tougher than leather. My name is Shante, and yes, I'm top choice. And you can tell by the sound of my voice that the way that I rock, that I am the best, higher than the rest, plus considered fresh. Threw on my feelers and my feline suit, stepped out my house, I just knew I was cute. Bumped into Busy, had a feline too. I said, yo, Bizmarkie, what you wanna do? Stepped out the house, chillin', yes, you know. Went outside, it's kinda cold, you know. So I threw on the bomber so I could get loose. Matter of fact, it was my black goose. Stepped outside, everyone was on it. I said, you like it, baby, don't you want it? They looked at me, they thought it was funny. And out of my pocket came a mint of money. Me and Biz went uptown, yes. Chillin' around cause we know we're the best. And then this guy came up to me, he said, we want you to make a record, you see. Looked at Biz, said, do you wanna do it? He said, yeah, Shante, there's nothing to it. I said, alright, and time has passed. I said, the money, haha, and we laughed. That's not enough. Things are getting tough and sort of rough. If you're not paying me 10 G's or more, then you might as well take your contract out the door. He looked at me, he got so mad. And then when he left, we were sort of glad. No, we don't sniff coke, we don't get high. All we do is dress real fly. Hang out at a party till the morning light. Chillin' all the time while other MCs bite. I say my rhymes, he does the beat. And you know me and him can never be defeated. We never sing, beat it, and no, we don't eat it. And if you do not like it, well, yes, you can bite it. And don't you go and get excited. I'm Shante, he's Bizmarkie. Side by side, you know it's we. No, I don't speak French when I say we. I mean us two, not yes, sirree. Everyone knows that I am much better. Come on, Bizmarkie, get it together. Talk to the girls, you know they are whack. Tell those crabs they sound like cats. Meow, 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 meow. Sort of fine, but another subject just came in my mind. It's sort of crazy, it's sort of whack. I'm talking about $5 cracks. Running around town just sticking up each other, ready to rob each other's mother. Getting little capsules, don't wanna choke, and all you do is sit down and smoke. Your jaws move in, your body gets skinny. You spend your money to your very last penny. You walk around town in the same old jeans, and yes, you know just what I mean. No, you're not cute and you're sort of whack. You're getting really skinny, only big as your hat. And if you wanna beef, I'll tell you so. And here's a few things that you should know. Yes, it's crack, then it's pee. Come on, y'all, take it from me. I was told to stay away. This is a message from Shante. You wanna dress fly and have some cash? Well, stay away from me because it's like a rat. Once you get it, you start to itch. It's attached just like a... Let's continue with what I said, cause this is something playing in your head. Cause we come to parties just to have action, just to prove to you that I'm not Michael Jackson. Rap so strong and rap so deaf, rap till I get out of breath. Now we have introduced to you me and Biz, the Deaf Fresh Crew. Me and Biz, the Deaf Fresh Crew. That was Deaf.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
you're listening to Kane 103.7 FM.
Step right up. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Move closer and bear witness to the one who cuts on not one, not two, but 3 turntables, known throughout the 4 corners of the world as the fastest man alive. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2. He's the fastest man alive. 1, 2, 3, 3. Cut it up, Flash. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1, 1. He's the fastest man alive. 1, 2, 3, 4, get it. Breakdown. Born in the ghetto, lived in the slum, but he was raised high and mighty to be #1. The Parks was his stage, cause didn't exist, and everybody was invited to be a witness. Running things on the South Bronx street, known for great feats of skill and technique. He's the priest of the beats, the king of the scratch, and all the rest are just a product of wax. He's the fastest man alive. Cut it up, Flash. He's the fastest man alive. Breakdown. Pull up your seats. Class is in session. The master's gonna teach you all a good lesson. It's an open invitation, despite what you've heard. And the first to come will be the first served. Perpetrated the fraud. Said that you was the best. Tried to fool the public and lied to the press. You wasn't even all that. Way back in the past. When you know you learn all you know from Flash. He's the fastest man alive. Cut it up, Flash. He's the fastest man alive.
You're listening to the sounds of Kane 103.7 FM.
To subdue adversaries takes little of time. One discreet rhyme and the soul is mine. And to enhance the combination of the rhyme and the beat. It's KD on the 2 techniques, so check them out. Let's call it Step. Yes, they call us deaf, even the thought is loud. I'm like a nuclear attack on the hip-hop crowd. The intense vibration of a beat is great. I'm his MC, he's my DJ mate. He's my right-hand man, but he's on my left. And to conclude this sentence, let's call it Step. Of this rhyme took a genius infection, resulting in formation of a deaf conception. The man steady being hip-hop intellectual. The cuts are precise, the rhyme exceptional. The rhyme is deaf because I took the time to put specialized words together to make a rhyme. Let's call it Step. Yo, KD, what's my name? Steady beat. 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 I go out at night, don't think I'm fly. Just an ordinary guy. People wonder why I'm not fly. But I'm nothing less. Why do I have to be fly when I'm so deaf? I don't waste my talent. My talent is ample. And if you don't believe me, then here's an example. The words that I use by means of the brain transform into words and can never be plain. I'm a b-boy genius taken to that extent. And every word that I say, you know that's what I meant. Just call it Step.
and I'm flowing and I still will grow. Not a rookie, amateur, and experienced pro. A poetic innovator, the crowd stimulator. The jammers call us deaf, I'm the soul creator. With the dragon on my side, I can take all thunder. Build your confidence, you're great, but you're 6 feet under. He's cutting the beat like a Kizoo chef. Don't mean he can't hear when I say he's deaf. I'm the HG rockin' when I'm doing the do. If there are those that can beat us, believe me, there's few, just call us deaf. Deaf!
Kane FM.
Rock on to the beat, carry your back groove. Get on the dance floor and bust the move. Deaf sounds like these to support the fact that we're the brothers supreme and we can be your back.
We're the brothers supreme brothers of rock, and that'll sight girls fight. To be on a job, too deaf to be whack, too hot to be sore. And when we step in the place, the sucker empty step off. We're the new crew, too, gearing up on the chart. Cause when it comes to MCing, we invented the art, and we will always rock steady. Till we stand on the fact that we're the brothers supreme, and we can't be held back. Can't be held back, can't be held back. We're the brothers supreme, and we can't be held back. Can't be held back, can't be held back. See the beat, can I keep this? Can't be held back. Rock to the beat, can't be held back. Get on the dance floor and bust the move. Sounds like these to support the fact that we're the brothers supreme, and we can't be held back. Well, every rhyme I contrive needs to be framed, hung on the wall and highly acclaimed. Not too shallow and not too deep. They're meant for all who here to keep them in their mind. That's the intent. And put on a level they can present my form of expression. Then you're confessing. Cool C.O.B. is your obsession.
Well, I'm a living legend, barely into my prime. Recognized for alteration of the rhythm and rhyme. But never reaching my peak, but always known to impress. And K.R.I.G. the innovative poetry artist. I'm the squad of this era game, paid for my skill. Referred by some as the most, and from the chillest to chill. Lord Supreme, widely feared, like a king on the throne. Cause K.R.I.G. the ultimate is internationally known. Rock on to the beat, can't be held back. Get on the dance floor and bust the move. That sounds like these to support the fact that we're the brothers supreme, and we can't be held back. Can't be held back, can't be held back. We're the brothers supreme, and we can't be held back. Can't be held back, can't be held back. See the beat, can I keep this? Can't be held back. We're the two MCs and we're causing a threat. We got a mouth full of rhymes that you ain't heard yet. Our poetry is never dull, it is always a point. Rhymes written, never bitten, kept the crew with the joint. Articulation is profound, innovation is clear. Spending time with our rhymes every day of the year. So just give it your attention and it will be enhanced. Take a chill, cause we still got skill to advance. Well, I'm chill, ill. My rhymes are brisk, and if you can't bust that, then don't bust this. Cause you need not listen if you won't believe these rhymes that I'm saying. You might perceive as being kinda blunt, but I won't front because in any battle I'll be at the front. I'm like a one-man army, and a force of fury. I'm cool C.O.B. Your judge and jury. I'm the pinnacle of rap, the utmost peak. And you the tech intellect every time I speak. I only possess the royalty of a sight, and I got more clout than Jacoby and Myers. Cold crushes my art, the ultimate in my field. Some people think I'm soft cause my style is concealed. Well, the truth and the fact is I can rhymes galore. Hey, yo, K, tell the people what the G stands for. Well, great galore, as I stated before. God goes along with that as part of my decor. Now I know it's plain to see. There's only one G, but a lot of definitions fit my personality. That is my clientele, and I always prevail. Yeah, I care about the G. Well, I'm about to tell. Let's take a chill and listen close as the record twirls. I'm K.R.I.G. is playing the G's for K-Rock's girls. Rock on to the beat, can't be held back. Get on the dance floor and bust the move. That sounds like these to support the fact that we're the brothers supreme.
Hey yo, this is Phil Most Chill, still out to kill, and you are listening to the Pioneers Hip Hop Show presented by Whirlwind D on Kane FM. Get busy or get lost.
LD, I was just messing with this beat in the lab, and I thought, you know what? Let me just pass him this beat, rock 32 bars straight, and we're gone. What are you saying?
Tonight is all about 1986, and we are running through the year via entries from the Groove Records hip hop sales charts from that year, and of course sharing a few tales along the way. So we find ourselves in March 1986 when Talk of the Town was Def Jam's recent UK launch party, where LL Cool J impressed, whilst the Beastie Boys, who of course also impressed, managed to get into a confrontation during their show after having beer thrown at them and responded in kind, which resulted in the audience pelting the stage with cans and glasses. Maybe that was a precursor to plastic cups at gigs. At the same time, the Beasties were becoming known for their hotel room destruction, which seemed to be a regular feature of their tours. Also, big talk at the time was the art of beatbox, popularised of course by the Fat Boys and now being innovated by the likes of Bizmarkie and others. The UK scene was also in a state of flux at the time, with many of the first school of artists such as Jive Jr., Man Friday and Dizzy Heights stepping back out of the limelight, whilst a few such as London rap champion Junior G and the hard rock soul movement were still holding it down. In fact, I remember talk at the time of Junior G spitting a verse on hard rock soul movement's Double Death Fresh, which of course sadly never appeared. I would have loved to hear that. There must be some recordings of that version somewhere. Please someone dig that out one day. So anyway, back to the tracks we played. First up, speaking of human beatbox, was the number 12 single on the 8th of March from Roxanne, Shante and Bizmarkie, titled Death Fresh Crew, which over the years has become an iconic routine. Check out our Pioneers Hip Hop show on the Juice Crew All Stars for more on this. After that, we moved to a hip hop pioneer and an LP track from his number 11 album on the 22nd of March, and a track called The Fastest Man Alive by, of course, Grandmaster Flash. We then hopped over to Philly. Again, you can find out more about the early Philly scene on our Philadelphia show on the Whirlwind D YouTube, and that was a track by Steady B, in fact his debut, the blisteringly dope Just Call Us Deaf, which was the number 2 sound on the 12th of April. Finally, we jumped over to the West Coast for the Brothers Supreme and We Can't Be Held Back, which originally came out on Street Talk Records in late 85 before being re-released by early West Coast giant Rappers Rap Disco in 1986, and that track stood at number 23 on the 26th of April. Right, let's get back into the music and the month of May.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got MC Shan and Molly Marl in the house tonight. They just came from off tour, and they want to tell you a little story about where they come from.
You love to hear the story again and again of how it all got started way back when. The monument is right in your face. Sit and listen for a while to the name of the place. Hip hop was set out in the dark. They used to do it out in the park. Every place they said his name, it rang an alarm. Otherwise known as Me T Tom. A brother who's known for his rap, Jabby Jap. Larry Ladd, third least not last. A cool brother by the name of Gas. Face Brothers made you get loose. They was down with a brother called Cousin Bruce. They used to jam in the center. You had to pay so you could enter. Go to the door, get frisked just in order to get in. And if you wasn't from this town, then you couldn't fight and win. But every time they had a jam, they couldn't get no peace. So that's why the jams out there in the parks they had to seize, cause you was in the break. Why don't you wise up, show all the people in the place that you are bright. Make this here one jam that you do not start no fight. Cause that is one thing that we all must see done. And if you start some ish, your ass had better run. Cause you're in the break.
.7 Kane FM.
Ultimate 3, time to go on. Let's rock this party, y'all. Word up.
Yo, let's do ultimate damage.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you the #1 MC and DJ crew. Right here with you tonight, the ultimate 3. Somebody say, ho, ho.
It's my rhymes you will enjoy. I'm Dynasty and not a decoy, so I watch your back because I'm search and destroy. I'm a young man and not a young boy, cause my education level has reached its peak. So hush up, don't open up your mouth and try to speak, because we're all the way live, not gonna deprive. And at this party is where we arrive. And if there's any problem, say we will survive. And if you don't think so, let's step outside.
Hello, I'm Mighty Mike. You see, I came here live to keep the party started with the proper vibes. That's like I'm Mighty Mike. I'm also in command. You see, I'm just like confusion, hard to understand. But then frozen will always be chosen. Start snapping, fixing, I'll keep on posing. Cause I'm an MC, you just owe to admire. I'm one of the few that'll satisfy ya. I always set the sheet, get the proper attire. When I'm over in my scene, it's cool running his eye out.
I'm MC pretender, the first, not the worst, at the top of the agenda. I'm alive, not dead, not gonna be cremated. This is a rhyme that I have created. I know, I show, but talents only grow. I know amateur, I'm surely a pro. I am the boss and I said so. When I rock a party, your ears will echo through a vibrate back that'll never cease. To the super divide, the magic pure release. Say the analyzation of my super ego is compared to the speed of a Grand Torpedo. I can rock a party and it ain't no job. We're the ultimate 3 and we're performing live. Give me the break, Tank. Let me hear you say ultimate, ultimate. Say ultimate, 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 ultimate. Take a scratch. The party motivator, the king of rap. Always talking sense, never talking crap. When I'm live on stage, people go in the rage. I'm like a wild animal that's almost in a cage. I'm at your feet, come on, forth, and I get my rock and roll alive through source.
I'm live to formulate my flawless rhyme. While my eloquent voice will identify your mind. You see, my name is Mighty Mike. Some people call me Steve. I'm here to work, so don't you be naive. You see, these lyrics I state, I did create. They also designed to devastate. MCs I'm known to infuriate. But that's how Mighty Mike got to be so great.
Cause Dynasty's the power lord. But MCs with your board, you wanna battle me? What you can't afford? Cause I know that you're missing, or even that you're missing. To beat the 3, you need a petition from the whole land, which I don't think you can. Come to me hard, you're gonna leave a broken man.
Kane 103.7 FM.
Now Peter,
Piper,
pick
peppers,
but run rock,
Rhyme,
Humpty,
Dumpty,
fell
down,
That's his heart.
time,
Jackie,
nimble,
what?
nimble,
And he was
quick,
but jam,
mass mud, faster jacks on Jay's dick.
Now little Bo Peep Cole lost her sheep, and Rip Van Winkle fell a hell asleep. And out of
as I was told. Everything that he touched turned to gold. He's the greatest of the great, I get it straight, he's great. Claim fame cause his name is known in every state. His name is Jay, to see him play will make you say, God damn, that DJ made my day. Like the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. He's a maker, a breaker, and a title taker. Like a little old lady who lived in a shoe. If cuts were kids, he would be you. Not lying, y'all, he's the best I know. And if I lie, my nose will grow. Like a little wooden boy named Pinocchio. And you all know how to stalk free. Go!
Tricks are for kids, he plays much gigs. He's the big bad wolf, and yo, the three bigs. He's the big bad wolf in your neighborhood. Not bad, meaning bad, but bad, meaning good. There it is.
He's not Gretel, Jay's a winner, not a beginner. His pocket gets fat, others get thinner. Jump on Jay like cow jump spoon. People chase Jay like dish and spoon. And like all fairy tales end, you'll see Jay again, my friend.
Kane FM.
Well, clap your hands to what he's doing.
I came in the door, I said it before. I never let the mic magnetize me no more, but it's biting me, fighting me, inviting me to rhyme. I can't hold it back, I'm looking for the line, taking off my coat, clearing my throat. The rhyme will be kicking in till I hit my last note. My mind remains defined, all kind of ideas. Self-esteem makes it seem like a thought took years to build, but still say a rhyme after the next one. Prepared, never scared, I'll just bless one. And you know that I'm the solo whiz, so Eric B, make a clap to this. I don't bug out of chill or be acting ill. No tricks in 86, it's time to build. Eric be easy on the cut, no mistakes allowed. Cause to me, MC means move the crowd. I made it easy to dance to this. But can you detect what's coming next from the flex of the wrist? Saying D, then I'll proceed. Cause my man made a mix. If he bleed, he won't need no band-aid to fix his fingertips. So I'm rhyming till there's no rhymes left. I hurry up because the cut'll make him bleed to death. But he's kicking it, plus it ain't no half-stepping. The party is live, the rhyme can't be kept inside of me's erupting just like a volcano. It ain't the everyday style or the same old rhyme, cause I'm better than the rest of them. Every B is on the cut, and my name is Roxanne. Go get a girl and get soft and warm. Don't get excited, you've been invited to a quiet storm. But now it's out of hand, cause you told me you hate me. And then you asked, what have I done lately? First you said, all you want is love and affection. Let me be your angel and I'll be your protection. Take you out, buy you all kinds of things. I must have got you too hot and burnt off your wings. You call the attitude, you need food to eat up. I'm scheming like I'm dreaming on the couch with my feet up. You scream, I'm lazy, you must be crazy. Thought I was a donut, you tried to glaze me.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Yo, what's up? This is Chrome representing the All C&I, No Half Stepping Records, and you're checking out my man, Whirlwind D, on the Pioneers Hip Hop Show on Kane FM. Keep it locked.
Welcome back to the Pioneers Hip Hop Show on Kane FM. If you've just joined us tonight, we are on a journey. We are plotting our course through 1986, sharing some of the stories of the time and some of the best music from that vintage year. Now, don't forget, you can catch our previous Pioneers Hip Hop shows on the Whirlwind D YouTube channel. Big thanks for all the comments and likes. We hugely appreciate it. So we find ourselves in May 1986, and the first cut you heard, which was number 3 on the 17th of May, was MC Shan and Marley Marl's bona fide classic, The Bridge, which is of course such an important record for a whole number of reasons. One of them, of course, being the catalyst for the Bridge Wars. Check out our Bridge Wars show for more on that. But most importantly, for innovating the sound of hip-hop through Marley Marl's pioneering use of samples. Now, before we move to the next cut, and speaking of DJs, Word of Mouth's DJ Cheese had just become the DMC World DJ Champion at this time in London after Roger Johnson the previous year. Now, Cheese's set, which saw him backspinning and cutting up Al Nayfish amongst others, revolutionised the art of scratch at the time. May also saw the closing of legendary New York City venue Disco Fever, the home of Lovebug Starsky amongst others, and of course Lovebug Starsky would have pop chart success very soon after this month with his hit Amityville. Now, this period in music was an incredible melting pot with electro funk and hip hop all merging and meandering, and it's worth mentioning at the time there were whispers on the street about a new style emerging from Chicago, which was initially described as a cross between high energy and disco and would soon be named garage, as it was popularized by Larry Levine at the Paradise Garage in New York City. Let's get back to the hip-hop though, because that's what tonight's show's all about. And the next cut we played was the number 2 sound on the 24th of May, which was the Ultimate 3 Live. We then followed that with 2 absolute killer classics, 2 number 1s. Firstly, on the 7th of June, which was number 1 7th of June Groove Hip Hop Sales Chart, Run DMC's iconic single Peter Piper. Such a great double A-side single that as well. Love that, cherish that record. Followed by the number 1 for the 21st of June, which was Eric B. is President by Eric B featuring Rakim. Note the name change. Obviously, it very soon became Eric B and Rakim, but in many ways, of course, that was how these early records were formulated around the DJ. An incredible debut, and of course, one mixed by the one and only Marley Marl. Okay, we now move into July, and we're going to switch across for some West Coast business.
We have a mission for the world-class wrecking crew. Your mission, if you decide to accept it, is to take rap music into a new dimension. If any of your world-class members are caught or captured, the secretary will disavow any knowledge of your action. Book him, murder 1. Book him, murder 1. Book him, murder 1. Book him, murder 1.
They say it was impossible with a world-class crew. Gave it a go. We
While the beat just rocks, is a double that rap to move you out to side. So all the freaks in the front, freaks in the back, get ready, get set for a heart attack. Don't chillin', never ill, kick it all of the time. Party people in the place, the beat it's mine.
Chillin', never ill, kicking all of the time. Party people in the place, the beat is mine. Go chillin', never ill, kicking all of the time. Party people in the place, the beat is mine. Go chillin', never ill, kicking all of the time. Party people in the place, the beat is mine. Go chillin', never ill, kicking all of the time. Party people in the place, the beat is mine.
Parties and crime as we are known. So watch out, y'all, we're gonna take the throne. Modern Junkie is the title of the nickname I do hold. Cause I got more records than a six got a hold. Take total control of all that we do. You let others that take control of you. Cold chillin', never illin', kicking all of the time. Party people in the place, we got the beats and the rhymes.
Chillin', never ill, kicking all of the time. Party people in the place, the beat is mine. Go chillin', never ill, kicking all of the time. Party people in the place, the beat is mine. Go chillin', never ill, kicking all of the time. Party people in the place, the beat is mine. Go chillin', never ill, kicking all of the time. Party people in the place, the beat is mine.
For all the sucker MCs, we come under attack. So don't miss, take a rest, always slap your ass back. Always kicking, never sticking in the place to be. We're on radio, magazine, and TV. My name is Max, I'm Davey J. Rising to the top and going all the way. So don't you get stopped, let your body just rock. Cause you won't stop kicking till we reach the top.
Go chillin', never ill, kicking all of the time. Party people in the place, the beat is mine. Go chillin', never ill, kicking all of the time. Party people in the place, the beat is mine. Go chillin', never ill, kicking all of the time.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
You're listening to Kane 103.7 FM.
A fresh rhyme in the brain is what I contain. Let it out with a shout and it's bound to stain a part in your heart right before I start. Try your best with the rest to figure what I've got. What I invent, I intend to intimidate you. It will be a slam dunk on your set virtue. I make your head curl, head swirl, put you in shock. I possess an element to start you on my job. When I finish, I'll diminish, then I'll laugh in your face and try to build up your ego, put it in the right place. On a scale of intelligence, I'll score a 10. It will be a revelation from beginning to end. Programming drum tracks, production work distributing my brain I will rack. No matter what the job I'm at, I'll always do it well. My skill not perpetual, I'll only excel. To a pro where I remain superior to all. I'll handle any task, no matter big or small. As for my rapping capability, I'm never underrated. When it comes to smoking lyrics, I'm always nominated as the #1 contender in the hip-hop race. All competitors, I'm sorry for now you must face the ultimate challenger, of course, that's me. Super rapper T. La Rock, undisputed MC. With my voice so stimulating, beat so seductive. One can't help but find them so reluctant to attend the performance of another vocalist. It's so you will find they'll never rap like this. brain-trained advisor, acute or so astute genius that's wiser than a till of a Hun. And I've only begun to display my talent, which is second to none. I'm a pro. When it comes to the show, I'm capable of moving the role of people who came here tonight to hear me recite my poetry that's guaranteed to excite all music lovers.
You're listening to the sounds of Kane 103.7 FM.
We had to come out fresh.
Records, that's what I was told. Got 40 records out and not a damn one sold. All your rhymes are non-cypher, your beats so weak. You talking about I got a record coming out next week. You're a liar, I'm so mad I can almost melt. You told so many lies that you believe them yourself. Never finished with your start and you ain't on the charts. You probably got my picture on your wall filled with darts. I'm not a mediocre rapper, much more than that. My voice is so hot that they almost couldn't put it on wax. My name is Eric, y'all. You know the force is fresh. Girls say I'm more potent than hot key sets. Nell settle for less. A black Elliot Ness, I'm rocking black BKs, G-U-E-S-S. I'm not Cool J, I run DMC. I am the girl, take a supreme easy. As the funky beat punches, girls perspire. Rock the mic solo, no band or choir. Musical magician, vocabulary inclined. If you can't understand me, yo, push rewind. Headed for fame and I'm in the fast lane. Trying to stop me is like stopping a train. Cause I don't put off track, right and exact. And I got a surprise just like a Cracker Jacks. We had to come out fresh. We had to come out fresh. I'm so deaf on the microphone when I rap. That's why the fellas in the crew make me the cat. I work hard for every single dime I make, and I count triple digits for the girls I take. When I'm rapping out a jam, the fellas will see. I don't throw bass on your girl, she'll come on to me. My rapping style is such that it can't be duplicated. You rappers can't be like Fred, and you hate it. Other whack rappers make records and songs. You're sitting on the charts where you don't belong. But now I'm taking over, cold stealing the show. All you duck whack rappers like your rhymes and gone. Cause I'm imperial, my rap is out of style and fame. Get juice in a lot of places cause of my name. Sleep in fancy hotels, got diamond gazelles. And you never find a speck of dirt under my nails. I'm ready to see the mellow rapper, love a businessman. On top with the big shots is where I stand. New York is where the blood is born and raised. In every other country is where I'm praised. Oh, chillin', taking every opportunity spot. Sharing with the fly girls everything I got. I'm like the black godfather of the mic. That's why your people standing here watching me tonight. We had to come out fresh. We had to come out fresh.
Hey, this is legendary MC Silver Fox of Fantasy 3. I'm listening to Whirlwind D. Let's get it.
Kane 103.7 FM, the Pioneers Hip Hop Show in full effect. If you've just joined us for the first time, we are focused on 1986, celebrating hip hop at 50 and running through some of the key stories and essential jams of the year as taken from the Groove Hip Hop Sales Chart month by month during 1986. Remember, you can catch all of our previous shows on the Whirlwind D YouTube and some of the really old ones on the Kane FM Mixcloud. So we paused for the cause in July 1986, and of course the talk of the town in the UK was all about UK Fresh. Held at Wembley Arena and hosted by Mike Allen on July the 19th of 1986, it was the biggest ever live hip-hop event in the UK, put together by Morgan Khan and Street Sounds as part of the Capital Music Festival. Now, artists on the lineup, which was huge, included DJ Cheese, Roxanne Shante, Grandmaster Flash, Captain Rock, and many more. With 15,000 people at Wembley, the event was clearly a pivotal moment. Meanwhile, across the pond in New York City, hip-hop was of course strong, with clubs such as the Latin Quarter, the Rooftop in Harlem, and the Underground running things. However, the crack epidemic was starting to take its toll, and an increasing number of artists would reference this in their music. August also saw the battle for world supremacy at the New Music Seminar with a star-studded set of judges including Melly Mel, Africa Islam and LL Cool J. Grandmaster Kaz would eventually win the MC battle, beating opponents such as Tila Rock, Busy B and Robert S, while Jazzy Jeff would win the DJ battle. So let's get back to the music. So we hyped the set with the number 2 spot on the 5th of July 1986 from the world-class Wrecking Crew, and that track was called Mission Impossible. Just going to show that despite their omission on most commercial shows about hip-hop, there was a thriving hip-hop scene on the West Coast pre-NWA, and in fact Dre and Yellow were already very successful with the world-class Wrecking Crew, already signed to a major label. Epic, of course, was that label, way before they remodeled themselves in the mould of gangster rap. And of course that's not taking anything away from the brilliant music of NWA and Dre's solo material later on in his career. We then moved on to Max LX and Davey J, who would be later known for their radio work but were making brilliant hip-hop music in the mid-80s, and a track called The Beat Is Mine, which was at number 20 on the 26th of July. From there we moved to Tila Rock's number 1 cut, Breaking Bells, produced by Mantronic, and hitting the top spot on the 23rd of August 1986. We then rounded things off with Freddie Fox's debut as part of Supreme Force and NIA Records, and an absolute killer track called You Gotta Come Out Fresh, which was at number 28 on the 30th of August. And I should just say, talking about West Coast a moment ago, well worth checking out the Pioneers Hip Hop Show West Coast special if you want to really dig deep into that pre-NWA West Coast era. So much incredible stuff. Uncle Jam's Army, Egyptian Lover, so much going on there. World Class Wrecking Crew, of course. So yeah, check out that show for more information on that incredible early West Coast scene. Okay, we now move forward into autumn 1986.
Ultramagnetic.
We use the stupid funky posters for you to respond. Ha! 6 to 5. This track is excellent. Creating to achieve new musical notes. Funky posters.
Well, I'm a mellow scientist, increasing top speed, multiplying kilograms. Chemicals reach mercury's parallel, negative waves and motions. Photograph approximate time to reach equators. Hemispheres remain precise, moving centimeters off dissolving predators. Burning ears situated near suns, my rays stimulate in complete rotation. Revolving Milky Ways, Uranus measures syncopating words with pressure to the brain, pointing instruments. Cool, keep elevating, ranging galaxies. Funky potion.
DJ Mo Love. Exercising formulas, a quest to achieve overwhelming heirlooms. Judge resolution results, corresponding equilibrium attached. Molecules release to control hypodermic ventilation. Amplify rough reacts, causing pleasure absorbed by many beings. Human species all congregating, join, configurating. Tri-quarter readings aloud, dominating, anticipating. Laws concerning real lives, composition maintains elements mixed with compounds. Sodium properties collide with fusion to melt. Analog and impacts reals obtain, neutralizing forces all. Yes, the witness said G has the right resources, funky potion.
DJ Mo Love. my functions energized with torpedoes to the brain, correct and well aimed through a telescope scheming. Bombs activate from the World Trade Center, signals red alert, pressing buttons of doom, grenades and booby traps camouflaged in the street, bursting heads to pieces, dominating all toys, destroying mentally, crossing complicated angles, stepping over minds that are low and very feeble, blown with TNT but invading ear canals, drums disintegrate on a capital mission, executing skulls, disconnecting blood vessels, stopping circulation with instruments, welding more megafire, melting cells left to right, affecting altitude, growing apparatus exposed by cool keep funky potions.
DJ Mo Love.
KFM, more than meets the eye.
Yo, what's the title, y'all?
It's awesome.
How many?
For some. Hey, baby, suit panties. Just check us out, fly girl. We're here.
And you know we're back.
Cause it's the four cool brothers with the funkier rap. Hey, a new concept. One and a different approach.
And to the brothers,
in collab, we're proposing a toast.
Not to the also,
the force of
be all and good help. Mother sex
to the crew and MC well.
Choice brothers like us.
You know we're calling you bluff.
Because we have a
LP.
That's not enough. You see, we told you once.
And now we'll tell you again.
That we can rock a
microphone from beginning to end.
Cause we're monsters on the mic.
We're awesome MCs.
No other crew is capable.
I say in rhymes like these.
Now ladies turn on the heat.
And fellas shuffle your feet. The awesome came back with the monster beat. For some. Hey, baby, suit panties. Just check him out, fly girl.
S-C-A-K, a monster on the mic, and you cannot do it. The rhymes I recite, the way I rock the spot, MCs will get blown. Just watch, let me show you how to rock the microphone. Never had stuffing, I do things right. I'm not mean with fly girls, I mean on the mic. You're guaranteed to respond to this creative rhyme. Please the girls school a rapper at the same time. So repeat what I say, don't try to quote it. The reason I wrote it, so I could be promoted to the tip top of the MC chart. A tough rapper on the mic, 10 things apart. Serious short shot, all opponents will drop. And to slow me down, you have to put all the stops. My talent will stay, never be taken away. The sleeping giant has awakened.
Rockvilla AK. For some. Hey, baby, suit panties. Just check him out, fly girl. A vibes in the air, going around, making people all around want to be down. No, that's the presence of this masterminded MC. The words I chose to speak, rock beat up the beat. The monster country is back from a short but deep sleep. Back from hibernating, I'm trying to MC. Cause on the mic I'm funkadelic, awesome, wicked and wild. You know I kill it at will with my dog does style. I'm making headway, digging my own path. But weak and strong, crunch under my back. Cause I can keep the bass flowing, box beat space. Won't rap and get hyper or make a mistake. Now don't ever underestimate the mastermind. I rock Shem on the mic. Ladies, make your own mind. Won't ever have to play the role of playboy when niggas talk trash. Got ammo to destroy. Awesome. For some. Hey, baby, suit panties. Just check this out, fly girls.
Kane UK, we speak through the music.
Go get it dumb.
Tricks, I see it's just best to my knowledge, I guess that I'm fresh and more than the best, I never protest. Though you say you never know you're supposed to be an adult. Sympathetic emotions I never felt, so get out. You know that you are all saying, you know that if you're mountain, that you are soft, but just ice serve vicious. Is here to rock on, tell you all about myself, let my knowledge be born. Respect on the mic when it comes to a rhyme. If you think you're much alike, you know you're out of your mind. If I reminisce your tense and dents and try to convince me to believe your stupid nonsense. Cold get dumb. And my man trying on the real still peace.
Kane FM.
Suckers sit back, react to his attack. Evil E's in the place, cold dog in the wax. All bones stop for your mothers, today's the day. I'm here to say, warriors, come out and play. Rhyme for your lives, weak, running high. My name is Ice-T, LA's where I reside. Fly as a bird, oh so awesome when heard. If you bite, I'll take your life, best believe that's word. FBI was wanted, but them suckers can't stop me. Mean rapping mother terrorizing Gaddafi. You try to match the death raps I wrote. This my rhyme, that's the time, razor meets your throat. Born in New Jersey, but raised in LA. Streets just as hard, and the players still play. Far from a fag, getting paid for my brag. So if you wanna come and battle, bring a body bag. Definitely deadly, and that ain't no jive. And if you don't like what I'm saying, we can take it outside. Cause ain't nothing like a squabble, cause your nose are fine. And if knife be your reason, then Uzi be mine. So all punks get ill, cause you know I'm gonna. Rhymes that ignite, bite like a piranha. Ice-T's just rocking the tracks, and Evil E's in the place, just dogging the wax. Cold, 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 rockin' it. Cold, 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 rockin' it. When it's time to get up, I love the ladies who are down with the T. But what I hate and I state is a fool MC. You want a battle of ice, you gotta be insane. One step toward my rep and I inflict the pain. Got so many raps, I got no place to storm. So many damn pages I could wallpaper the forum. Assassination is my solution. No light of breaking, just massive contusions. Death feeling rhymer with a lust for blood. Conflict with the master and your name is mud. Kicking up, no mercy for the fact you're brave. I just bury your butt, then I spit on your grave. Laugh at your family as they stand and cry. Cold smack your mother all in the eye. Cause I never get to heaven, but you know damn well I wear Bermuda shorts while I'm maxing in hell. So all suckers the back, react as this attack. Don't try to write me off as talking lightweight smack. Because I leave you a shamble. I hustle, don't gamble, and I rock your butt blind like HBO Scramble. Dog in the wax!
One, the Surgeon General of Chilltown, New York, has determined that the sounds you're about to hear may be devastating to your ear.
Sharp as a razor, down is dirt. Rhyme is my life, party is my work. LA is my place, Mirage is my base. All my lyrics make sense, no words I waste. Time for a duel, colder than cool. Chill with the brothers who built the old school. Rhyme like a rocket, smooth in the pocket. Program the 808 and just lock it. Crash the studio with my crew. 24 tracks mixed down to 2. Jam hits the stores, packed concert floors. Drinks in my hotel room by the score. This MC, I rock the freak, the ecstasy. Take them to the TOP and bust them out officially. Never off, always on, rockin' to the break of dawn. Like this, like that, an MC that's not the whack. All rappers in the game recognize my name. They write me off as being lame, or give me credit for my fame. I'm here to make it clear, 86 is my year. I'm the rapper you should fear, and I will have no fear. Supreme MC Chief, when I die, my belief. Battle from LA to Rome, rock beyond the Thunderdome. Sound hard, know why? It is, don't try. Only the top MCs on max of disability. If you do your final with a misword, bit lip or run out of the A&E for high-speed poetry. Take advice from Ice-T, leave the cuss to Evil E. Get a girl, feel a bass rocker at this funky pace.
Hey yo, with the deal, this is Oxygen from Strong Island, representing the Vinyl Veterans crew, and you checking out the Pioneers of Hip Hop show with my mellow Whirlwind D on Kane 103.7 FM.
Welcome back to the Pioneers Hip Hop Show on Kane 103.7 FM. Tonight we are telling the story of 1986 through the music and some of the key events of the time. We are using the legendary Groove Hip Hop Sales Chart as an anchor, selecting 2 chart entries from each month to tell our story. And don't forget, we've got brand new music coming up at the end of the show. We got new material, of course, from Jest. Also, the man like Cosm, Deflux and Miracle, and Capo, all that coming up a little later on. So first up, we played the number 2 sound from the 13th of September, which would rise, of course, to number 1 the following week, and that track was the classic 12-inch single by the Ultramagnetic MCs. In fact, the track we played was Funky Potion, which is the B-side, the A-side being the all-time classic Ego Tripping. Now, we played that B-side Funky Potion as A, it is dope and seldom heard, and B, if I'm honest, I suspect Ego Tripping won't upload to YouTube, sadly. Not that we do this show for YouTube, because of course it comes out on Kane FM, but we do have a lot of listeners on the YouTube as well. And apologies if any of the other tracks have been cut out by the YouTube monitors. It's sad, really, because this is a history show for hip-hop. It's not in any way money making, we're just trying to tell that story. But fortunately, we don't normally get much, if anything, removed by YouTube. But of course, when I play those big tunes of the year, there is always a risk. Anyway, enough lamenting. The single, much like the bridge, Eric B. is President and Peter Piper, all which we played earlier, was another seminal, game-changing single. Now, before we move further with the music, I must return to the UK scene for a moment, which, despite the low number of releases in 1986, 2 of which we've heard so far, was still alive and well post-UK Fresh, with groups like the Three Wise Men and the late great Sifo touring with the likes of Big Audio Dynamite, and jams like Spats on Oxford Street still very much doing their thing. In fact, the seeds for the next school of UK hip-hop were being sown as the fledgling Music of Life started to emerge. You can check out our show on Music of Life Records on the Whirlwind D YouTube channel. So we then moved into a number 9 on the 20th of September from the Awesome Foursome, a track called Monster Beat, which was in fact an early Teddy Riley production. We then hit number 1 spot with another Mantronic produced monster in the form of Just Ice's Cold Getting Dumb, which was number 1 on the 11th of October. And then for our final cut, we moved into Ice-T's seminal single 6 in the Morning, often attributed as one of the finest examples of gangster rap, despite releasing Killers the year before. Many of the commercial shows on hip-hop seem to have forgotten this. In fact, though, I played the flip side, which was Dog in the Wax, which is also a great track, and that was number 9 on the 18th of October. We now move into the final couple of months of 1986 and another great track from the UK. It's Grandmaster Richie Rich.
And now, Your Mightiness, allow me to lay some protocol on you.
Number 5, don't be flash in your brand new clothes. Don't be flash, just stop at the pose. Don't be flash to me in your brand new car. Don't be flash, be the way you are. You have a house to your name on every street. You got gold Adidas on your feet, champagne in the back. In Beverly Hills every day, a new set of wheels. Rockin' wild parties every night. Laying big money on the big fight. Spend is the way that you live. If a poor man is begging, money you give when you take a cruise around the world. You make my eyes open, you make my toes curl, cause you're tired of cruise. It's hard to believe there ain't nobody to deceive. Dream holidays for days and days, everybody's having big fun. But when you take a spaceship round the earth, you head straight for the sun. In your The nation is shocked by the way you spend. The one to wonder when it's gonna end. You sail on your yacht across the waves. Rock left, rock right is the way you sway to your private island in the light blue sea. White sand, green grass, and a coconut tree. This is where you max and relax. A high from the man who wants some tats. Cause nothing in this world is for free. Not even if you got big money. Being flash can put a stop to all. Jealous people can make you fall. One thing to remember before you die. Love is the only thing money can buy.
Double the taxes, triple the taxes, squeeze every last drop out of those insolent musical peasants.
103.7 Kane FM.
Well, I'm the V-A, the N-O-N, and if I'm not your man, I may be your friend. Yes, it's in my nod, and I'm coming to you live. Talking to you, baby, ain't talking no jive. I'm rocking parties and I'm rocking the street. B-A-Y-B-E-A-T. Well, I'm the baby beatbox. Yes, y'all, I'm here. I'm beatbox one and only of the year. Come on, baby doll, and put me on. It's like going to a place and you don't know nobody. Come around me and you see everybody. Cause I'm in my nine, rocking the beat. Ain't nobody in the world that raps just like me. The baby beatbox, it's a drop, fat time. Now you rockin', you gotta do the fucking new beat. As the beatbox starts to move up. Oh my God, Africa is love. We rock you to the early morning, dancing to your favorite beat. Our music is a special treat. Special treat, special treat. K-I-D-E-E, or you could call me Eminem, but I prefer MCD. Cause when I'm on the stage, all the people just clap. It's like busting out a beat with a funky fresh rap. I'm Eminem and you've heard my voice be at the top of your list. Your number one choice is like reading magazines like the Village Voice. Eminem's beatboxing like a new Rolls Royce. Rocking off the wall, unless I like playing sports like basketball. I'm over the mic, travel over the world, and got plenty of girls, yes, I'm talking to girls. I rock the parties and I might look funny. I'm Eminem, but I make plenty of money. Coming to your house, you can treat me to dinner. I'm Eminem, the prize winner.
Kane 103.7 FM.
Is always on ours because we stick together like the Twin Towers, and we're always funky fresh every half an hour. We don't with impulse, but the gods give us flowers. And now jealous girls, it's all that's in this world. They're trying to act like ladies, but they dumb young girls. The things we have, they cannot buy. So stand on the corner, giving us the eye. game. Cause every time we turn around, we always hearing our name. She's telling her that, she's telling her this. But if you mess with freaking fag, you're bound to get this. So you can get on your knees and get to licking on this. Now I'm the brown skinned one with the cheeky eyes. She got a good looking face with the curvy thighs. A word to mother, 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 word to mother. Now she's light skinned and short with the fresh physique, and I'm sure enough devastating and fine and unique. A word to mother, 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 word to mother, to mother. Jealous girl, jealous girl, jealous girl.
Kane FM.
Merciful and they curse me. Yo, this is Joe Fatal, aka the God Merciful, and I'm here with Whirlwind D and the Pioneer Radio Show, baby. You heard?
Kane 103.7 FM, the Pioneers Hip Hop Show in full effect. Don't forget you can catch the Pioneers Hip Hop Show live on Kane FM every 4 weeks on your FM dial at 9 PM on a Monday or via the player at www.kanefm.com. Also got to big up my Boot Records fam and their show, always essential, every 2 weeks on a Wednesday at 9 PM. Check out the Kane FM schedule on the website for details of both shows and much more on Kane. So we find ourselves at the tail end of 1986, a huge time of change in hip-hop, but a change for the positive. Hip-hop supergroups such as Run DMC, the Beastie Boys, LL Cool J and more were now achieving commercial success, and the major labels were beginning to circle, wanting a slice of what was becoming very big business. One of the first independent labels to have gone to a major was of course Def Jam, but as we moved towards 1987, many more would follow. At the same time, this change was evident with old school labels such as Tommy Boy and Sugar Hill trying to rebrand themselves through imprints such as Body Rock and Bon Ami, some more successful than others. Whilst over in the UK, Paul Oakenfold took over Blues and Soul hip-hop column from Tim Westwood. Now, Paul was previously Profile Records UK rep and managed the London All-Star Breakers. He would of course go on to have pop chart success years later with Starry Eyes Surprise and many, many more. Now, whilst we're on the subject of UK hip-hop, or at least the UK, we played another UK track, this time Grandmaster Richie Rich's brilliant sophomore 12-inch single Don't Be Flash on UK label and shop spin-offs. Absolutely love that record. That was number 6 on the 8th of November 1986. We then moved into Eminem's excellent Fresh Beats, which was taken from the Baby Beatbox LP, which is highly sought after these days if it comes with its cover, because that cover art of course was done by Keith Haring and often sells for over £200. Most importantly, the album was dope and featured Melly Mel, who is of course one of the greats, and although his solo output was thin on the ground in 1986, he collaborated with many artists in that year, from the likes of the aforementioned Eminem to the likes of Scorpio, MC Chill, Africa Islam, Ice-T, to name a few. Now, the track in question hit number 16 on the 29th of November. Up next were underground duo Frick and Frack, whose debut single Jealous Girls at number 20 on the 13th of December had that signature Marley Marl sound. Now, although the pair were never part of the Juice Crew, MC Shan was actually present in the studio when they were recording that, and in the following year they would drop a verse on Big Daddy Kane's Just Rhyming and Biz, but sadly due to licensing difficulties, their verses would be cut before the single came out on Prism Records in 1987, but we'll save that for another show of course. Such a shame. But you can actually find a rough recording of their verses on YouTube. Slightly different beat, but well worth looking up. For our final track to round off 1986, we move to another group who were making serious moves in the mid-80s. That is of course Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew, and the brilliant Play This Only at Night, which reached number 16 as part of their album on Reality Records, and of course that album was a number 1 album during the year, and that record Play This Only at Night reached 16 on the 20th of December 1986. So there we have it, 1986. What a year, and a year of so much change and so much creativity. Just comparing records that I played at the start of the show, like those from Chuck Chillout and Shaquan, to records by the likes of Just Ice and Ultra at the end of the show. Just such a change. The dynamism of the music was incredible, both in the UK and the US at the time. Like I said at the top of the show, this was a whistle stop, and there is obviously a great deal more to 86. But in my mind, 1986 was a vintage year. Okay, up next we got brand new music. First up, we're going to hear a track from the brilliant new Jest album featuring Lee Scott, a track called You. There is a video out on YouTube, make sure you check that out. Then my man Cosm with his brilliant track Still on Hollow Sun. You can buy that over at his Bandcamp page. Well worth checking out that album. Then big up to Kane FM fam, Deflux and Miracle. We're going to play their track Unquenchable, taken from the Certain Sound album Down the Local. I'm loving that album. And then we're going to round things off with Capo and Luther Andros and NYE, also from that album. So a huge thank you to you for locking in this evening. Always great to have you with me. We're back in 4 weeks' time, but I leave you with 4 absolutely brilliant brand new tracks. First up, it's Jest, Lee Scott, and a track called You.
I make terrible decisions I regret when I'm drunk, so keep me cup topped up. I'm sliding through like you just mopped up. You bet I'd fall now, watch as I glide. I couldn't put one foot wrong if I tried. Skeletons on display like I got nothing to hide. Gone with the tide, I'm getting off with no baggage. I yawn stretching, man spread across the whole carriage. I'm old school, hijacking your spaceship with a stone tool. Like a bunch of dumb Martians. Until I was 13, I thought white goods were for finishing front gardens. And I'm still shocked enough. Then again, I don't know whether this is hip-hop or pop. It's shit. I just wanna rock sportswear and feel omnipresent, but I'm not all there.
The thing about you is you just ain't me. No, I don't really care what you've been up to. I don't really give a fuck what you do. See, the thing about you is you just ain't me. No, I don't really care what you've been up to. I don't really give a fuck what you do.
Yeah, I'm that guy, making bad decisions when I'm not high, that I regret when I am high. I'll fuck your whack rhymes. It's all downhill for your campaign, I'm winning by a landslide. Just for president, the prime minister's irrelevant. On this soapbox, I'm in my element. You're smoking those rocks, that's not intelligent. I'm rolling those crops, I got the lemon in. That's the citrus. Puff that off, and that's delicious. And then I'm ghost like apparitions. A smooth operation. These MCs ain't me, they ADHD, they lose concentration. Penning of a loose observation. Dodging all these crap rappers, just a hazard of the occupation. What that mean though, bro? When every line is fish scale, Camberwell carrots, it's just me, myself, and with now.
You is you just ain't me. I don't really care what you've been up to.
103.7 Kane FM.
Yo, I've been around I've been doing this shit, man. Been doing this. I got wrinkles older than you. Yeah, the animated Jesus piece. Venus sleeping on my lap while we lean around the corner on the way to Greece. My wildest dreams told me stay awake and say my piece. It's all the same to me. Ace of space, wait and see. Ride the laser beam, pinkies with the gamer teeth. Break your beak, stare Fanucci in the face and leave. While they scraping knees, praying where they aim to be. Game is weak and kids don't stop you finding ways to eat. I tip the waitress and the maitre d' and tell the chef in the car park he's bigger than the wage he needs. Alchemazy, deep cold nights and grainy VHS scenes. Chewing blue stitches out in A&E. Make the gutters bleed rain through the paper. You can take a leaf out of my book. You ain't the same as me. Yo, I don't know why you play if you ain't played for keeps. I hang your head above the mantelpiece chasing beats. Yo, I've been around the world 100 times when I'm standing still. I'm still standing still, the statue on the Jack and Jill. Still, the full metal jacket on the man is still. Hand to mouth for the stills on the camera film. I've been around the world 100 times when I'm standing still. I'm still standing still, the statue on the Jack and Jill. Still, the full metal jacket on the man is still. Hand to mouth for the stills on the camera film. The Roman leader, Chrome Caesar, Gold Libra. Throw the sheepskin on the back with the Cohiba. Smoking the old Beamer. Vicarina on the low, leave it. They talk a lot of shit but don't mean it. Throw the free piece, so sweet, no social media. Blowing up all week, we burning clothes for cleaning. Prince Akeem with the groceries below freezing. Don't believe it, show my best side with no features. Solo EO, you close the gap, find your meaning. I'm a changed man, the old me don't like you either. Diamond geezer, Hatton Garden, Ike Tina's. Trust, they couldn't put a price on peace of mind between them. Oversized tees, nihilist in white Adidas. And speaking like Spider Rico, nice to meet ya. The crying Freeman, dressing with the sirens screaming. I'm tying loose ends like writers in their final season. I've been around the world 100 times, but I'm standing still. I'm still standing still, the statue on the Jack and Jill. Still, the full metal jacket on the man is still.
Kane 103.7 FM.
We came to drink the bar dry, kid, this ain't apartheid. Let's get in the mix and love each other like the last time. Drinking like the last night, Lambers acting dark night. Wake up, smell the sweet premium. Up in the flask light, faded like the last light. Speeding past the bar slide with the double middle finger up to all the far right. Be up in the dance high, me and my amigos. We be on a wave like the opposite of boat shoes and chinos. Rocking loud shirts, giving mad people's migraines. A tad bit of Ice Age, dabs and some nice shades. Tabs on the compo, blaps in the convo. Daps when I raps and collapse on the trampo. More bounce than the Troutman, shouting at the bouncers. We up in the town like it's Downton. Acting like a big deal, messing up your house and pissing on your shoes from the couch and... Getting rowdy, shouting like it's live. Oh, it's rarer now, we're older, still we're smashing up the live shows. Drinking out the hip floss, stashing all the free cans. If you ask around the way, people say we're big man. No chest puffing, no macho BS. Up your Nando's, I'm eating loaded nachos with your BFF. I'm more about than some CSS. Catch the right page, boy, you're lost like you're in amongst the yellow ones. Writing on my days off, twisted off the strawberry daiquiri and purple rain. Eating tapas with your mama, man. Thinking that it's just another day. Living like I'm on another plane, wishing I could run away raw. Never ever getting gutter brained. I run up with a pot of paint and pick apart, we're not the same. Got it locked like I'm Billy in the arcade. It's silly when I bar spray, spread it like it's marmalade.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
you're listening to Kane 103.7 FM.
Relics of a past regime, it's like stepping through a glass museum after the Blitzkrieg. Fragmented, all meanings being fractured, all decent narratives is in pieces. Breathe. Any parts that your palm touch, now deemed akin to bad luck charms and ill wills you can't trust. Any place that your feet fell, upturned and wiped clean. Last 10 to 15s is left to ruin. Whole truths are only in the present moment. Till your gold tooth exposed in our bed of roses. Take these words home and think them through. Or the next rhyme that's written might be based upon your derivation. First half of this career spent feeling around in the dark, using the seventh sense. Blazing ultrasonic verbal negotiation. Like a flock of birds, shoal of fish vocabulary. And they say that writing rhymes isn't applied science. I'm splicing them live wires with intangible words. See, first you observe and then you reach solution. Recreate and master, that's the line of evolution. Next phase of this career path is psychologic. Understand the whys and what ifs of my life's the object. What's the key to how I'm resonating? How I keep the purple patch, 32 bars devastating. Mike scalpel in an open heart surgery. Hitting major organs till I reach the dark burgundy. Until I reach the core reactor. Become what I've been clawing out for years like a story doctor. But only in the present moment. For when your gold rope exposed in our bed of roses. Take these words home and think them through. Or the next rhyme that's written might be based upon your blood relations. I'm holding on to convos and information like it was my last day, so don't be surprised if I'm inundating you with 2,000 questions on the current state of the game, because I'm eagle-eyed. Club to pioneer walking I ain't seen in time. Years looking like they passed well, so nothing changes. Small talk and handshake till we broke the Hervis. Introduction to his up-and-coming proteges. I'm noticing a 20 years gap between me and this artist. At the same time, I'm spotting the common traits. Hunger for knowledge, a focused belief system on these modern rappers. We are locking horns in a debate. And as he's breaking down all of his idols, I'm noticing that all these names sprayed are UK based. And it's dropping like an anvil on my mental. I've been ignoring my own backyard for 2 decades straight. Only looking to the US for props and influence. See, that's when the rain breaks and we're forced to cut the talk short. But the thought why I despise how this country reinvents the spitter. Or is it something closer to home? Here in my own peers, it's too near to staring in the mirror and hating what I see there. 20 years straight, I've imitated what I see in here. 3,000 miles across the mid-Atlantic. Have to admit, I always have been America's bastard.